Welcome to the other side of the highway. You are now on Oaks Avenue. Thank you for tuning in and come back again. I am Andile van Reinfield.
I'm Josie Boy van Ramberg.
Awesome, boy. So I feel a little bit bad because I think when was it last? Well, we didn't shoot last week, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was the end of Youth Month, which was quite an important thing, I think. I don't know how you feel, but
Well, you're trying to say that you think the youth is important? Of course they are.
you think so? I don't think they are. No.
they are part of the future, man.
Yeah, no, of course, but still, I mean, what I'm trying to say is we didn't shoot. I mean, we were supposed to shoot, but unfortunately, life was lifing, and I couldn't make it. So It was my fault, not his. But we might as well just talk about just a little bit, about the youth stuff. So, I don't know. Last month was Youth Month, right?
Yeah.
And we had a whole month to ourselves.
To ourselves, are we youth? Are we youth?
Oh, yeah, actually, that's a good question. Are we? I don't know. Do you feel like you're still part of the youth?
These days, not so much.
Not so much.
I feel
quite
starting to feel a bit older.
I agree with that. I don't know if we still classify as youth, but
and remember, Youth Days was predominantly about education. Well, that's where the youth marches were for. It was for education.
Yeah, it was to remember that
incident
that happened.
For sure.
But Youth Month, I don't think it's about that day because something happened on Youth Day.
Okay, yeah, Youth Day is about that. Youth Month is about the youth. But yeah, these days I'm feeling a bit...
Jeez. Yeah, actually, because, when I think of... Have you ever noticed when you look at people who were born in like 2004, those people are grown-ups, but growing up, those were always kids to us. And like, I have a cousin, dude, like, I think like, there's something really special about kids. Well, let me know. No Diddy or anything of that nature.
You don't have to say anything.
Yeah. But I'm just saying there's something very, special about a child. Because if you notice how kids are very different from adults, grown-ups, we are very much safe. And we're very much realistic in how we approach things. But like when I look at my younger cousin and how he views things, it's very different from me. Like I remember I used to get so annoyed with this guy. We'd be watching maybe something on TV, right? And then maybe something will happen to someone and then he'll go, oh, if that was me, I would have done this. And I'm like, bro.
Yeah. I know exactly. Yeah.
I would have hit behind the door and then I would have kicked. I'm just like, bro, you're not realistic. That doesn't happen. Like you watch too many movies. But that's what being young is about. You think you're stronger than everybody. You think you're quick, you're smarter, and all of that. And that's a good thing.
Man.
Yeah, exactly. That invincible thing is very much real when it comes to being youthful. But us, we're so much older, and we very much like.
And we weathered, man. Sometimes I get out of bed and my back just hurts for how I slept.
Oh yeah.
Back in the day when I was a kid, man, I would go for sleepovers at people's place. We would sleep on the floor and just like have maybe a cover to make us feel comfortable.
Oh, man.
Wake up the next morning, sharp, ready to get the day started. Now, if I just put my head down weird on a pillow, wake up the next morning, neck sore, back sore.
That is so real. I also go through that. When you said I wake up with my back sore, I was like, what's going on in your dreams? And then I was like, oh, okay, no, I actually get that too. And it's just horrible, dude. But yeah. So I don't know, dude, do you think you still have your inner child? Like, would you say, do you really feel like a grown-up, or do you still have that youthfulness about you?
Nah, I would say I feel like I'm still a child trapped in like an adult's body now but I think it's great because I work in creative, and when you work in creative, you can be quite childish. And if you were to come into like the office where we work, like everyone's fairly childish. We make childish jokes and stuff like that.
Of course.
I think I'm more wary about things. I think there's things I used to do as a kid that I would definitely not do now.
Yeah.
And even though it would probably be safer for me to do it now because I'd be more wary about it. When I did it as a kid, I just didn't see. I didn't see the danger in certain things.
Yeah.
And I feel like I developed anxiety as I got older.
The older you get.
Yeah.
I think that's what growing up is about. Like, basically, it's being more responsible.
Yeah.
And being more wary and being more careful, which is a good and a bad thing at the same time.
Yeah, it stops you from doing certain things that you might find fun, but you know.
I mean, growing up, I grew up skateboarding. I don't do it anymore. But just to think about all the crazy stuff I used to do when I was young, skateboarding, doing tricks down a set of stairs. Skateboarding is a very dangerous sport.
It is.
I will not do that now at this age. If I do, it'll be just something small. I'm not going up a set of stairs and thinking, I can do something down this. I will not do that.
Yeah.
And, the older I am now, my knees are just horrible, dude. Like a few months ago, I went for a jog because I'm trying to, just trying to be more healthy, more in shape. And in the middle of that jog, my knee just gave out, dude.
Man.
I had to walk like 4 kilometers back home.
Dude, I want to talk about knees because I feel like there's nothing you can do about them, man. Like,
right.
It's like people are like, oh no, if you don't stay active, your knees are going to become soft and brittle. And when you do, then they go. But then if you do stay active, then they're like, no, you overusing your knees. Your knees need a break. And either way, no matter what, I think everyone across the board at my age at the moment is complaining about their knees.
Oh, okay, so I'm not the only one.
No, you're not the only one, man. We're all suffering from it. And there's like, I would love to find ways of preventing it.
I mean, I think there's inflammation pills inflammation pills. They kind of, they don't help instantly, but if you take them, if your knees
but that just takes away the pain, is it not?
I don't know. I mean, my mom always tells me you should take those, and I haven't taken them because she's like, let me just let it heal naturally.
Yeah, you also don't want to feel old taking inflammation pills, man.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, a new thing for me is heartburn tablets, man.
I still have never experienced heartburn before.
Yeah, dude. As a kid, I used to eat anything I wanted. Yeah. No worry in the world. Now, in the office, we got to have, we got little Gaviscon sachets and stuff, dude. And I always know, like, that looks tasty. I better go get myself a Gaviscon.
Oh, my God. So it's more like, dude, I'm about to put my body through something.
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh, I can't resist. Yeah, dude. I haven't experienced heartburn. I hope I never do. But I will be honest, my diet is very bad. Like I eat anything still, and it's gonna come back to bite me in the ass at some point.
Some people, they go through their lives just eating what they want, and their body don't change. Maybe just one of the lucky ones with a good metabolism.
Yeah, I mean, that's another thing. So I want to start. Well, I'm very serious about this, but I want to go to gym, but one of the things that I need to do because I want to bulk up, so I need to eat more.
Yeah.
So, I need to put on weight because I do have a fast metabolism. Weight gain is just something that's hard for me. Like I said, I eat anything and I don't really gain weight. So
it's funny. It was like that for me when I was younger. Once I reached like 22, then
we're the same age.
Once I reached the age of 22, it slowed right down, man. But in high school, I was skinny, and I used to eat the most, man.
Yeah, but I was, I was doing a bit of research on how to do it. So they say, listen, you eat every single chance you get. So from the moment you wake up, eat something. So you train your body to just want to eat all the time. And you just eat as much as you can. Pack a lot of lunch throughout the day. If you're going to go to work, make sure you when you get to work, you eat breakfast again. So you're gonna
What diet is this?
No, I just read through something. I was reading through, what is it? Quora. You know that website where you ask questions and people answer you. Yeah. So I was like, okay, I'm going to start eating then. So it's all about eating a lot, dude. My uncle, he was. I mean, he still is. He still gyms now. But he used to eat a lot, bro. Like when I would have maybe or 4 slices, that guy was having 8,
Yeah.
maybe even more. He could probably have more.
But he was gymming. He was staying
Yeah,
active.
dude, he was gymming. That's the thing. So I think him eating that much helped him bulk up because I'm sure he was also skinny as a person, like naturally. Because I've seen photos of him when he was younger. He was very skinny. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I suppose that's you got to bulk, man.
Lots
Lots of carbs.
Lots of those. And also
You're actually lucky, man. I wish I was like needed to eat a lot more carbs. I have to eat a lot less carbs.
Yeah, but I feel like you're still small, dude. Like if you had to, gym and lift weight, you're gonna be like a skinny guy. You're not gonna be, you're not gonna have. Yeah, so you might also need to, but you also need to gym a lot to make sure you don't gain weight.
Yeah, for sure.
So of course, yeah, dude. Also, you did mention that, like, okay, so you still feel like a child trapped in a grown-up's body, right? And that's actually very interesting because you even said, like, when you go to the office, you're still very much childish, like, you
Yeah,
still
for sure.
childish stuff. You crack jokes. And like that's something that was very strange for me when I first started working, when I first started entering the professional field.
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
Which is a lot of grown-ups are actually still kids, dude. Like people that are much older than me,
Yeah, for
in
sure.
their 40s and 50s, they still do the same things that high school kids were doing.
Yeah, for
There's
sure.
still a lot. When you get to the office, there's still a lot of clicking up. There's still a lot of people who are just so childish. Like they all do childish things, and you like.
I must say, there's a lot of things that I don't do anymore, and I feel like I'm probably more appropriate in the workplace. I feel like back in when you were high school and you and your friends were roasting each other, there were no boundaries.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There were no boundaries. So maybe that's getting older. We realize boundaries. If we want to make fun of each other, we know like not to overstep a mark.
Stop. No, definitely. Of course, in the office environment, I think there's a lot more at stake. If you lose your job, you basically lost your salary for a few months until you find another job.
Yeah, if you got expelled from school, you're like, oh, cool, I'm gonna go chill in bed.
Exactly. That is so true, man. I mean, there's also homeschooling. You'd be like, I can do some homeschooling, but yeah, dude. So I think that's the difference between being young and being a grown-up. It's just being more responsible.
Yeah.
But that's it, really. Nothing's changed, really. But also, I think I will get into this a bit later as well.
Yeah.
Something that I wanted to talk about. But also, I want to ask you this. So we are officially out of Youth Month. We are now in a different month, right?
Yeah, for sure.
What was the difference between Youth Month? What was the purpose of having a month? In fact, what's the purpose of having any month dedicated to anything, to any group? There's Youth Month,
it's brands, man. It's advertising. So think about Pride Month.
There's Pride Month, there's Women's Month, there's everything.
Yeah. So I think what it is also, it goes a lot towards marketing, I would say. Pride Month was a lot about brands trying to explain that they are in support of LGBTQ and stuff like that.
That is so.
And it sparks like so many debates, and there were so many people who were like, "Oh, why do we have to have a whole month for gay people?" And interestingly enough, some dude, I don't know what his name is, because I don't watch a lot of podcasters and stuff like this, but there's a dude in America who I think he's anti-LGBTQ, and he proposed to his wife during Pride Month. So he proposed, not wife, fiance. He proposed to his fiance during Pride Month, but then in his post he said, LGBTQ is so over. I just proposed to my wife during Pride Month, and people were like, That's wild that gay people were in your mind
Exactly.
when you decided
What the
to. Like, what were you trying to do? But yeah, I like the fact that there's Pride Month, and the reason why is I do think, obviously here in South Africa, actually, dude, it is obvious amongst older people. I don't think with us, with our generation, so much. There's not a lot of prejudice towards gay people.
Yeah,
I think older people are very much like it. I think a lot of us have an uncle or a friend's uncle who, if you even just decide to wear a pink shirt, he's oh, why are you wearing that kind of thing? Definitely. So we're all going through that. I think older generations, but it's wearing down. But there is still prejudice out there.
It definitely is, yeah.
So people are like being so upset, like, why do they have to have a Pride Month? Why do they have to speak about this to all of us? We don't want to know. But I'm like, no, people need to know because there is still prejudice in certain places, in certain countries.
Of course.
There's still countries where, gay people aren't allowed to get married.
Yeah, it's illegal.
And then in America, you see it a lot. You got people that rally against it because it's against their religion.
Yeah.
So it's like because it goes against their personal beliefs.
Exactly.
It is the devil's work, dude. No. Like, where's I'm going to be honest, I am an atheist.
Yeah.
So anyone who wants to tell me that gay people are bad, I'll be like, why do you think they're bad? And they'll be like, oh, because it's not the way God intended. And I'll be like, well, I don't believe in that.
Yeah.
So that makes no difference to me. And they'll be like, it's from Satan. And I'll be like, well, I don't believe in that. So that doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
But also there's not a lot in the Bible that really actually says that people should not be gay. People take things out of context. I wish we could do our research right now, but I'm not going to do the research. But people take things out of context and they use it to hate on people.
Yeah. If you're going to justify, your hatred for a group of people, those people need to be bad. What they're doing needs to be wrong.
Exactly.
And being attracted to someone who is of the same sex as you is not wrong.
And how is it affecting the individual that's angry about it? How is it affecting them personally?
Exactly.
Because and some people are like, oh no, because what they do in the bedroom is so bad. I'm like, well, that means you're thinking about gay sex. Dude, you know the guy.
Why are you gay?
That guy and the other dude who's having a political thing, and he says, so I've done my research. Do you remember? And he goes, and they go deep.
Oh! Yeah. Oh, yeah, our friend.
Basically, in front of the church servers, decides to pull up gay porn.
Oh, yeah, that is...
My favorite part is that he says to everyone, I've done my research. I've done my research. Now, if someone tells you they've done their research on gay sex, that means he was watching gay porn.
Exactly.
That's what he did. He went and watched gay porn and reported it back and showed it in front of like everyone
kids.
there. Yeah. He showed a whole bunch of stuff in front of the kids, and then at a certain point he was like, now if there are any children please leave.
It's too late, bro.
That was my favorite part, dude. Like, he tells the children to leave. Dude.
Yeah.
And then he's looking, I think he's looking at a parliament member, and he's going, look. And the parliament member is covering his eyes going, no.
Hectic, my boy. Bro, that is just weird.
Yeah.
To be that obsessed. And you're gonna... man, I mean... It's also funny, though. The guy did his research, so he can't say he's just talking rubbish. But he didn't do thorough research, I'm sure. I mean,
he did thorough research, dude.
Yeah.
That video was, but that's not
Yeah.
what every gay person would do in the bedroom.
Exactly. Yeah, that's another.
I mean, because we know that even straight porn is not what general people do in a bedroom.
There we go. Yeah.
So it's
using porn as a way to be like,
yeah, he
this is
misconstrued it.
sickness.
He looked up more of and I feel like the type of videos he was finding aren't regular videos you're gonna find on a porn site. Even I think he dug deep.
Yeah,
he did his research, bro.
Jeez, man. Yeah,
but
he was that determined to make sure that people find it disgusting.
Yes, that's what he was doing.
But you know what's crazy, dude? He only did research on male homosexuals. He didn't do much on lesbians.
Yeah, I think that's because
a lot of guys think lesbians are cool.
Yeah, we do.
Right?
We love it. Exactly. You see, that's the thing. It's so like
it's very it's very biased as well. I mean, I'm not saying you should have done research on lesbian porn and what lesbians do as well, because that's also, I mean, don't do research. It's got nothing to do with you, brother. Yeah.
So it's funny you brought this up because it's something I was thinking about the other day. I was watching a movie about what went down in World War II and stuff, and the Nazis, really bad people, very prejudiced, did bad things. Their dress code, however, was to the nines. Like, have you seen a Nazi uniform?
It's very stylish.
Hella stylish.
Very stylish.
Boots.
Yes, you do.
Boots. Coats. Hair on fleek.
Yes, actually.
Hair on fleek. They went around and they would measure people's moustaches to make sure that their moustaches were like pristine.
Whoa.
Very pristine. Very so I was surprised, and a lot of people would realize that it's obvious. I did a little bit of research on it. I didn't get a definitive answer, but there were a few campaigns against it. But I realized that the Nazis were also homophobic.
Yeah, they were. They were against.
But there was a man up there. I'm sorry.
Who probably was.
There was a man up there who was hiding that identity, man. Those uniforms, those boots, the way they carried themselves, dude.
That is such a interesting point you just brought up, man.
Dude, the haircuts and everything, like,
what the hell?
Like, there was a dude up there designing that shit. I'm sorry, that type of really good fashion does not come from a straight man.
It does not.
No straight man can do that.
It does not.
Can pull that off.
Yeah.
So, I mean, dude, they went and invaded France, and I think they beat France in that war and in fashion.
Ooh, man. You think they actually beat France in fashion? Those are the most fashionable, some of the most fashionable people in the world.
Man, the Germans had their style on fleek, no matter what.
I also, like your style. But the mustache is not very.
I'm even thinking about now, like the way they would speak to people. Like,
it's very elegant.
I'm thinking about the way the Germans are. You are.
Get out the bike lane.
Get out the bike lane. That's a Easter egg for you guys.
Yeah.
You are harboring fugitives under the floorboards now.
Very
effeminate, bro.
So is it?
Yeah,
very interesting point. Have you seen that? That what is it? Key and Peele skit about Nazis?
Yes.
He walks in, he's like, "We are looking for the Negroes," and then those guys, literally, they're black guys, right? Key and Peele, and they just painted their faces white. And this guy is because Nazism is so stupid, right? They had so many stupid beliefs. They believed the Aryan race. Your head had to be a certain whatever, because they believed they were a race of people that was superior. So,
and not every interesting is not every Nazi was Aryan,
Yeah.
but they believed an Aryan person was superior. That's
Yeah.
a blonde hair, blue-eyed person.
And you had to be a certain height. You had to be, you were disabled. You were not part of the Aryan race.
Yeah.
There's so much rubbish. And then like, so, you know, in that Key and Peele episode, it actually proves just how rubbish that whole Nazism was, because they get there. These guys are obviously black and their face is white. And this guy's like, first we have to measure the skull. He measures these people's skulls and he's like, interesting. You know, your skull is the perfect size. So, and then he's like, and another thing is that the Negroes can't resist the kitten toy, you know, so he gives them a cat toy and they're looking at each other like, are we supposed to do something? Like, what's this cat toy supposed to make us do? Yeah. So it was always these...
I don't know if you learned in history, yeah, there was a certain type of racism where they try to put it down to the shape of a skull and basically the way...
Yeah.
It was like a genetics thing. I can't remember what it was called, man. It was called biogenetics. I don't know.
Yeah.
Some weird word for a type of racism. But yeah, high school was a long time ago. Once again, no longer youth.
It's racialism, like the racialism part. Sorry. Yeah. But I mean, race, that's where the base of race comes from. It was more so about proving that the European race is the more superior one, right? And then they call them yellow people, but this is more the East Asians. At back in those days, they were that's what they called them.
That's what they refer to them as back then. Okay.
Yeah, back then, not now.
Yeah,
which is East Asian, like Japan, China, Korea, and all of that. And then you had the Native Americans. They were also a different race. So there was a hierarchy of race. The races, and then at the bottom was the African people. So that's where racism comes from, or race, the concept of race, because race doesn't even make too much sense, to be honest. But we'll discuss this a whole nother time.
I mean, ethnicity to me makes sense.
Exactly. Yeah. Ethnicity makes more sense. Definitely. Yeah. So even in Africa, there are many ethnicities. In Europe,
South Africa, even just South Africa alone, we have lots of ethnicities.
I mean, I found out this, I think last year, I know it's going to trigger some people, but I thought England, or people from England and Ireland and Scotland were basically one people. But, you have different tribes. You have the Celtics, and then you have the British and
I wouldn't go too far into it because I haven't read too deep into it.
Yeah, I haven't either.
I mean, I know that I'm English.
But I'm just saying, like, it's divided as well. Like, they look at each other like different. Irish people don't look at themselves as the same as British people. So
Northern Ireland is British. Southern Ireland is their own thing.
Yeah,
and Southern Ireland, they hate the British.
Yeah.
And Northern Ireland, and it's so weird, dude. They don't even have a border there. They don't even have a border there. But the people in Southern Ireland, they fucking hate the British. You go to Northern Ireland, they love it. You know? Okay. It's quite strange.
But do those two Irish, because I know there's Northern Ireland and then there's Ireland. Do they look at
Northern and Southern Ireland?
Yeah. Do they look at each other like the same?
No. They don't. Okay. They even use different currencies.
Oh shit!
But no, you can. So I didn't have a British passport. I just had my South African passport.
Yeah. You can. Yeah.
So without a visa, I can fly to Dublin
with a South African passport.
With just a South African passport, no visa, nothing.
Yeah.
You can go fly to Southern Ireland.
Yeah.
You can't, however, go straight to Northern Ireland. You'd need a visa or a British passport. But what's funny about that is there's no border. So you can go land in Dublin and go straight into Northern Ireland. That was something weird for me because when I visited Ireland, that was the thing. I was like, I need a visa. And my sister was like, no, you don't. Go to Dublin. And then she booked me. They do like a Game of Thrones tour where they show you all the different places that you can where they filmed.
Right, is
Game
that
of
where
Thrones.
it was filmed?
It was filmed in a bunch of places, but
Okay.
Northern Ireland, they filmed a lot of it.
Okay.
And I thought that was so funny that, I couldn't fly to Northern Ireland, but the Game of Thrones tour all happened in Northern Ireland. So we flew to Dublin, and then obviously, it was St. Patrick's Day, so I partied so hard. But then, the next morning I was on that bus.
Yeah.
I just got to sit on that bus and go straight across the border. Nothing was wrong with it. So that's a weird thing
Yeah.
when it comes to Ireland.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know all of this. You learned something new.
I only learned it because of
you had
that,
to go,
because I wanted to go on the Game of Thrones tour. Yeah.
Nice. Oh, okay. Yeah, dude. But I think we just went off. We went way off. But yeah, it's really weird how Nazism,
Like,
how everything came to me.
I think everyone else would be like, no, obviously they were homophobic.
Yeah, but
But you understand why I was like, were they though?
there's probably a guy who they accepted, like,
Yeah.
he's gay, but man, he knows how to
Yeah. Look at that uniform,
He's-
man.
look at his hair. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, dude. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god, look at that mustache, man.
Oh
we
my
gotta
Yeah, man. But hey, dude, it's very weird. Yeah, it's very weird. But we were talking about the youth, and how everything sort of, okay. But I think I'll ask you this question. Really, what was the point? What is the point? In fact, you know what? Let's just say this. What is the point of all of these holidays? To be honest. Oh yeah. So you said it's marketing.
Oh yeah, so okay, the public holiday, that's obviously just to commemorate a day that did happen. Remember, those youth marches, people did die.
Yeah.
So you have to commemorate them for that.
Yeah.
I suppose giving them a whole month as well is also a way of just like saying this is Youth Month, this is to commemorate them, but nothing really happens
Nothing
differently
changed.
at work. When
Like-
you work for a marketing agency, though, you do see the difference. Like, so Pride Month, every company they put up they change their logo to the flag.
Nice, yeah.
And I don't know. Maybe it seems some people. There's two sides to how people feel about that. There's people that are like, nah, that's just a company trying to like jump on the fact that they don't mind gay people in order to get more business.
Which
Whereas
it kind
other
of
people
is.
would be like, they're doing that, but they're also just spreading the word that companies should be accepting of this. So is that about Pride Month?
But there was a lot of marketing behind Youth Month, because I would hear it if if I was listening, not that, if I was listening to the radio or something, they would mention it. I'm like, oh, okay. It's
Yeah, and
Youth
if you
Month.
think about it, a lot of companies, they want to. The youth is the future, which means if a company wants to thrive and be, what's the word for a company to be able to just carry on living throughout like past, like after we did, for a
Yeah.
company to stay sustainable
Yeah.
for so many years.
It's very smart.
They need to looking at the youth
Trends.
now, and how are they going to get the youth to now be invested in their brand. So Youth Month is like, maybe they're focusing more on young people. They're like,
Yeah.
and I listened to the radio a bit, and what they do a lot is they were having a lot of shows where people could talk in and speak about what they feel they bring into the company as a youth. So what it also does is it highlights the importance of certain things. Remember, like, for some reason, different generations like to divide from each other. Like, boomers are different to Gen X.
Yeah.
Gen X are different to millennials. Boomers hate millennials. We're apparently the generation that didn't want to work.
No, boomers just work
And
way
now,
too hard.
and now boomers also they can't stand Gen Z because they can't understand.
Yeah, because Gen Z is always
They're
trying to push
so
boundaries and trying to.
yeah. Well, think about how many different things happen through like 4 generations.
Yeah.
So obviously boomers like are stuck in their ways. They see Gen Z
Yeah.
being so different and they're like, oh no, back in my day you had to
Yeah.
like wake up at 5 a.m. and go lay down bricks and then go back home and
And like, you guys are really trying to advocate for gay people's rights. Oh, hell no.
yeah, they just
Yeah.
what they were taught
Mm,
growing up compared to what a Gen Z is being taught growing
Yeah.
up is so different.
it is.
So what we did at where I work, our post, which I think is a good thing to do for Youth Month,
Yeah.
was we took a picture of see, this is why I don't think I'm considered a youth, because I wasn't part of this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, they did. It
Under
was
25.
It was kids that were probably younger than 25 that work with us, and they asked them certain questions like. So the post it was just a multi-post. You know what a multi-post is, where it's just
Yeah, you can
an
swipe.
image with the person and some text
Yeah.
saying what, and so we'd have the one young girl there, and the question would be like, what advice would you give to another younger person that's just starting a job in a workplace? And then another one would be like, as a youth working in a work environment, what do you think you bring to the table?
Yeah.
And they gave really good answers, As a young person, I feel like I have new perspectives on things and stuff like that. So I think it's focusing on that, and I think it's important for the youth to have their own month because companies start looking towards giving opportunities to them, even if it is just to make the brand look good.
Yeah.
Even if the brand is just being like, look, it's Youth Month, so what we decided to do is we're going to give internships to like as many college students as we can.
Okay.
It's a good incentive. Even though the company's using it to look good, it's still a good incentive.
It is good, yeah.
Yeah. So that's how I feel about giving a certain thing their own month.
Yeah.
Women's Month. A lot of companies were giving like discounts and stuff to people just for being women.
Yeah.
A lot of people were giving like, because there's certain things women have to pay for that we don't, which is their sanitary care, or what you call it, man.
Yeah.
2 Chainz talking about this. But
Pads.
yeah, pads, tampons, and all that stuff. Like, it's still bad that women have to pay for that kind of stuff.
I always used to say that, dude. Like, or at least don't tax it. Our government shouldn't be taxing the hell out of us because it's very expensive as well.
Exactly.
That stuff should be free. Or at
So you
least
see a lot of companies like Discam and Clicks and stuff like that. They reduce prices on that and stuff.
Oh, okay.
But I feel they do it for Women's Month. I feel like they should do it like
For whatever.
but, like it has its benefits.
Yeah.
When a company is like, oh, we need to focus on women for this month.
Yeah.
So it has its benefits in those ways.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. You know what? You just made me look at it differently because I used to think before you said what you just said just now, I used to think there's no purpose of having a whole month dedicated to anything really because nothing's changed. But things do change. It's small, but it's something. It's better than nothing, I guess. But I think the youth needs more than just a month, and people who are LGBTQIA plus need more than just a month. Women need more than just a month, like you said.
Yeah,
they need free tampons,
for sure.
Pads, all of that. What do you because we're speaking on Youth Month? What do you think? What do you think the youth needs really? To be honest, because I can say in South Africa we need free internet. The youth can. Basically, it can change a lot of people's lives just having free internet.
I think they need free internet. Well, I mean, it would be very hard to provide that for them. But they do need that. I think
It
that's what
wouldn't be
they
that
need,
hard.
and they just need better access to education. And I think
Yeah.
that goes back to what you just said now, because free internet, there's people that do online school now. Ever since COVID,
Yeah.
we realized kids can learn, and some kids learn better when not sitting in a class environment by sitting at home.
Mm.
And, you know, it's a shame, dude. Like, I don't know if you saw Mr. Beast, he donated like I don't know the amount, but it all went to school shoes for kids.
Yeah.
And his video highlighted that kids are walking far, man. They're walking far. They're walking on treacherous roads in South Africa. I mean, this is more rural areas, but it's still sad. I mean, a kid born anywhere needs the same chance. And they're walking, and, you know, they don't have shoes.
Hectic.
And people are trying to solve the problem by giving these kids shoes, but that does not solve the issue. Like, that is still
They still have to walk.
such a mission. They still have to go through such a mission just to get an education. I think the youth in South Africa specifically, more budget needs to go into this education. And when I say that, it can't be these like education centers that they're building where it just like looks like bricks and stuff, and it looks like not a nice place to sit at, dude. They need to
with proper.
They need to put their
computers.
money into something that does something good, man. Like,
Definitely.
I think that's where I feel so bad for any kid is not having access to a good education.
I mean, it doesn't matter how poor the environment they come from. School should at least be a safe haven for these kids.
Should be free, man.
It should be free, and it should be a very healthy environment. There should be even maybe free meals for the kids. There should be therapy.
Yeah.
We need all of that for these kids, bro, because, you know, imagine being at home where you're poor, dude, and you just, there isn't much really at home. If you go to school, at least that should be somewhere you can escape that.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, dude, they should focus more on these very underprivileged communities and fix up the education. So I like what you brought up, man. School is definitely education really in general has to be fixed for the youth of South Africa. So yeah, is that all you want to add to it? Is there anything?
Yeah, no, I think, I mean, how do we accomplish it? I do not know, but I do wish that people would push more towards that.
I mean, there was a time, remember, we talked about transport as well, public transport.
Yeah.
Dude, like, these kids shouldn't be walking that far.
Exactly.
In the floods.
Dude, and they shouldn't.
Yeah.
I don't feel a kid needs to have to, like, pay to catch a bus to school. A working adult, yes, you pay your bus fare, but a kid should not have to get onto a bus and have to pay. He's going to school. He needs to go to school, and we need kids to go to school.
I think maybe that's another thing that can be implemented in the school system. School buses.
Yeah, I mean, we had a school bus, but we had to pay for it.
Yeah, well,
my parents had to pay for me if I wanted to catch that bus. But I mean, we still talking about, you know, like free education is not a thing here in SA.
Well, it is, isn't it? But it's not good though. It's free, but it's not good.
It doesn't come from taxpayers. So a lot of schools, I know, parents that do have jobs and stuff, they pay a certain amount above what the school fees are, and that allows other kids to come in, which is a cool incentive. But would you not rather that, like, our tax money, instead of whatever's going on with our tax money, wouldn't you rather that our tax money is going towards kids being able to get like a free education?
Yeah, dude. I mean, that's why I'm so pissed off with the government like most of the time because I want to know that my tax money is going towards something. I don't mind paying tax, dude. We pay so much bloody tax, and it's not.
It's not going to the roads.
It's not going to the roads. It's not going to fix crime. I'm still scared. I'm still having to pay for the damage that these potholes cause to my cars. So I mean, that's why we're so upset with the government. We're not upset with them because for no reason.
Yeah, exactly.
These kids are going to, if the roads were bad, I don't know, if the roads were bad, if crime was high and I knew, okay, at least these kids have a meal when they go to school. It's free education. They have buses collecting them, school buses for free. Then I'll be like, okay, there's something happening. I'm not completely happy, but something is at least happening. But nothing's happening.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, yeah, dude. And also, so the thing about our country, South Africa, is that I remember one time I went to this like a seminar, for New Zealand, like just to find out, what you need to do if you wanted to go to New Zealand. I was just trying to find out.
Yeah.
And like what I found out is that in New Zealand, 70% of the population of New Zealand are taxpayers. So their salary pays.
There'll be 70% of
the total population of New Zealand.
Well, I mean, you have kids though. That can't be right.
Well, working people.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Adults.
Yeah. And then in South Africa, it's only 12% of our working population are taxpayers. Like in terms of paying, you have to be of a certain salary in order to be taxed. Yeah. So it's only 12% in South Africa, and you're like, geez, bruh. Like we need to uplift people even in other communities to be able to also pay tax so that we, the country is better.
Well, you need to have a job to be able to pay tax.
Yeah.
So that's the problem. That's the problem is we need jobs and.
Yeah. So, I mean, the youth needs a lot. They owed a lot too. So.
Exactly.
I think also some youth can be quite privileged, right? And I think they do need to, we do need to listen.
Sorry, man.
No worries, bro. They do need to listen to, adults. I think there's something happening within the youth that is very ageist, right? And a lot of them think that the problem to everything that they experience is because of old people, and we need to get rid of all these old people and put young people in those positions and just get rid of all the old people in their old ways. But, I don't know. I don't know if you agree with that. It's very ageist, which is not good as well,
I think it's a lot of young people, they're very easily manipulated there in social media.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I was talking about it last time with TikTok. I'm not a flat earther, but I saw someone explaining a flat earth theory, and I went onto his page to see what else his ideas are.
Yeah.
And now after that, my TikTok is full of flat earth theory videos.
Yeah.
And I'm like, some of these people speak very well, and they speak in a way that would make you go, oh man, no, Earth is flat. Instead of you actually Googling what happens on the other side of people, why do they say Earth is round? This guy's giving you reasons. And when it comes to videos, it's so easy to take in information. So I feel like
it's the power of
youth people, they get told that something's someone else's fault. And it's something that happens in South Africa as well. Everyone loves Julius Malema or they love Jacob Zuma, and they're not. You need to be going to school and reading books and doing actual research instead of watching videos of what someone tells you something, right? Because when you watch a video of someone telling you something, you're getting it from that one person's perspective. You need to go, okay, let's just make up a random scenario where, let's just say me and you had a historically big argument, like to the point, and then you have someone that just agrees with my ideas, and the guy's read my books and everything.
Yeah.
Hasn't read your books. He's read all my books and everything, and he puts out a video and he's like, "This is what Joe says, and this is what Joe says, and Dile did this because he's read my book. And I've said in my book, and Dile did this."
Exactly.
And someone now only watches my videos, and has not read your book.
It's always the case.
It's a problem. Yeah, it's so easy to rile up someone that's been hard done by something and give them something to blame.
That is so true. Yeah. It's kind of evil in a way to do that.
A lot of people are hard done by a lot of things.
Yeah.
And they need someone to blame.
Yeah.
When you give them someone to blame, then you get them on your side. I feel like that's politics in a nutshell everywhere.
I mean, of course, it happens all over. You give someone.
I think the right wingers in America, people could literally just be like, "Well, that's because like they don't love God," and then everyone in America is like, that's why our crops aren't growing. Yeah. It's because the leftists are bringing Satan into the crop fields. They're doing that kind of stuff. I don't know if you've been watching The Boys, man, but The Boys. Do you know The Boys?
No,
The Boys. It's imagine American politics, but they actually had superheroes. That's basically how it's going at the moment.
American politics, but they had superheroes.
But they have superheroes. And superheroes are also involved in politics, yeah.
Oh, that's okay. Is that a series?
Yeah.
Okay. I think
huge.
Might have mentioned it at one point. Is that the one where you said, are they narcissist superheroes?
There's a narcissist. Homelander.
Yeah. He's a sociopath, a psychopath.
He's a psychopath.
And he corrects people when you say you're a sociopath. He's like,
oh, no, that's Sherlock Holmes.
No, okay.
Sherlock Holmes is a sociopath.
Yeah.
Homelander is a psychopath.
Oh, okay.
Homelander kills people for fun.
Because we said this last time, like there's going to be a point where the word narcissist basically turns in like the word psychopath. Like people just use that one. Whichever way. They don't really use it in the right context.
Yeah, for
if
sure.
Someone's crazy, they're like, you're a psychopath. You know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. But I think were you trying to make a point about The Boys?
No, I was just saying if you watch The Boys, you would understand like they making full on fun about how American politics argue with each other and how they get support from other people.
Yeah.
They get support from people that they don't actually care about.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let me just maybe add one more thing. Maybe, and then we can go to Jolly's afterwards.
Yeah.
Reading
here, what's to pump a butterfly?
Why would you even?
I'm sorry, guys.
Okay. Okay, so I wanted to bring this up. So when I think about, my youth years being over now, I'm making it sound so sad. My youth years are over, but I always, look back at this one moment when I was listening to my favorite album of all time, in music right now, which is Kendrick Lamar, To Pimp a Butterfly. Man, that's one of my favorite albums. So
I haven't listened to it, I must.
Sheesh.
When did it come out?
It came out 2014.
Okay.
But I was late on it, I'm not going to lie. I only listened to it around 2016.
Okay.
Yeah. So that whole album, really, there's a story behind it and it's very interesting. But something that's really interesting was that last song, right? So Kendrick Lamar's idol is Tupac. So he did something where he took Tupac's old interview and he did it in such a way where he made it seem like he's asking Tupac a set of questions, right? And then he took answers that Tupac gave in a previous interview, and he made it seem like he's responding to his questions.
Okay.
Yeah. So like there was a question that Kendrick Lamar asked him. I can't remember what it was, but I remember how it was something along the lines of like, what can we do to make sure that things get better for us, as people and all of that. And then Tupac was like, you need to start getting, active while you're still young, while you still want to get up and go to the gym, while you still want to, while you're still fast, while you're still able to do things, like, because when you reach the age of 30, they will suck the life out of you, bro. Like when you reach 30, you will be like a proper grown up, really. Like you won't want to do anything. You're gonna have kids. You're gonna be tired all the time. You are like, before you reach that age where you just don't want to do shit. Do everything now. You know what I mean? So that was very good advice. And I remember back then, I was, how old was I in 2016? I was, like 19 maybe.
2016.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do the maths right now.
Yeah, I was fine, but I was around 19 or something like that. I think I was 19. And yeah, so when he said that, I was like, okay, yeah, I need to start doing a whole bunch of things before I turn 30, bro. Dude, I haven't done anything.
Nah, man, but you also got to flip that to the other side.
Yeah.
And listen to a lot of people that also speak about things like, it's never too late to start.
Of course. Yeah. No,
there's a lot of people that are going through things. There's a lot of people that have never been to gym. And by the time they're 35, granted, it might have been easier for them to gone and done it at the age of 25.
Which is what they're saying.
But at 35, you got people that do. But I have a different view on that. I feel like, okay, I mean, back when I was 25, I was quite active. But it's still, if I wasn't going to the gym when I'm 25, and now I'm 35 and I'm going to the gym, it doesn't matter, because 35-year-old me wants to go to gym. 25-year-old me did not want to go to gym. So,
yeah.
So, yeah, I think I like what you said. That is true. Do as much as you can while you're still young and have the time.
Yeah.
And have the energy to do it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you need to also consider that, remember, if you're now past that age, don't think your time is up.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, we're both, none of us are 30 yet, but 30 is fast approaching.
30 is next year for me, man.
Really?
Yeah, 30
I've got 2 more years.
You got 2 more years, yeah. 30 is for me next year. But I had a friend who told me when he turned 30, he said he felt like life just got a little bit better for him.
Oh.
He kind of felt like he was stressing so much about becoming 30 that once he turned 30, he felt relieved and was like, this actually isn't that much of a thing. Yeah.
And also, I think also, like, getting older is better. Well, okay, let me not say it's better, but it's a good thing, in my opinion. I know a lot of people don't want to get older, but I'm actually looking forward to hitting 30, and just think about it, bro. How many people that we know didn't even get to that age? It would have been really good if they got to their age. Those people didn't get to experience everything about life. Forever
young boys.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, that is
so
true.
Even Tupac himself died. He was only 24, bro. Biggie and Tupac died at the age of 24.
I can't believe that Tupac was younger than I am now, dude.
He was only 24. I mean, when you look at him, he looks like he's older. He looks like he's 35.
But can we just, like, I know we finishing off, but can we also talk about that? Like, when you look back at, like, old media and stuff, people that were, like, at the age of 25 were looking like at least 38, man.
Yeah. Yeah, so true. They do make fun of some people. They're like, you look 35 from 1970. Yes, dude. I watch basketball and I look at some like 25-year-olds, dude. Those people have like, the Joshua Dore hairline.
The Joshua Dore hairline.
Yes, bro.
I'm
And
gonna
I'm
start calling it that now, dude.
and they have that beard. And I'm like, this man was only 25. I'll show you a picture of this one basketball player from back then. And I'm like, mind blown that this guy was only 25. Whoa, bro. Yeah. That is very interesting. Why?
I feel like we're aging just a bit slower. We have better products, better healthcare.
We take care of our skin and all that.
Yeah. Interesting thing about Gen Z, they're not drinking as much as what millennials did. But I don't know if you like me, like I grew up on movies where in these movies it was like, if you're not drinking, if you're not getting fucked up, and if you're not, and even the music, dude, they were literally telling us to spend our rent money
on drinking,
on partying.
I love college.
Yeah,
I love drinking.
Yeah, no, but I'm talking about the more pop songs.
Yeah,
it was like my rent's due, but I'm partying tonight.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. Yeah,
like we grew up on that, and I feel like
it's not.
It had an effect on our generation.
It
man.
made
like,
it cool.
People just felt like, yeah, life is all about going to a party. But if you're going to a party, you also got to be drinking. Because like if you also watch in a movie, if someone goes out and they're having fun, then you always have that scene where someone's like laying down and they're pouring like a bottle of vodka and tequila into their mouth.
Yeah.
And dude, trust me, I've been to a place where someone laid down and someone did 2 bottles in their mouth. 20 minutes later, that person was asleep.
So they didn't have fun.
So it wasn't a party for them, dude.
Yeah.
It actually ended up messing them up. And I think Gen Z is realizing this now. A lot of Gen Z people, they're not drinking, dude.
Yeah.
Like it's impacting, I think, the alcohol industry even. But they just like
good.
they're saying, and you actually share the sentiments with Gen Z. Just like, we don't see the fun in it. We don't see the fun in it.
Yeah.
Whereas I think I was probably like so susceptible to like.
No, I was. I mean, I've
stuff.
drank before, but it's not something that I enjoyed.
Yeah.
I was like, what's the point? Really?
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like some people, everyone's first beer did not taste great.
Yeah.
No one's drunk.
True.
Oh, is that a beer? I would
Mid-taste.
love to know what that tastes like. Delicious.
Yeah.
Get me 12.
Yeah.
That's never happened. You have to acquire the taste.
Yeah.
And people, what they do is they'll drink a beer and everyone else is drinking a beer and they're like, oh, I can't say it tastes bad. I must act like I like it. All the cool kids like it.
Yeah.
Then you force yourself to like it and now I love it. But
now it's an acquired taste.
Yeah,
really.
now I love it, but it's still one of those things that I think.
Yeah, bro. Well, I mean, not that I'm against alcohol. People can do whatever they want, but I'm just glad that it's affecting the industry itself.
Yeah.
These corporate companies, man. Maybe to wrap it up, what advice would you give your younger self, dude? If there is any advice, you don't have to.
I'll definitely tell myself to get more involved in technology.
Yeah.
One of those. And also don't do things to try and impress people around you that aren't doing much.
Yeah, that's a very...
Because I feel like that's what I was doing a lot in my high school days.
Yeah.
I was trying to prove to people that now I actually feel like I'm more successful than a lot of those people, but they were just popular because they partied and chicks digged them.
Yeah.
I would try and impress them to be popular. I try to do things. So I think I would say, I would tell myself, do things towards the goals. What do you want to become when you're older? Do things towards your goals and not towards trying to impress people.
Yeah.
I think that's good advice.
I'd give myself something similar to what you,
Yeah.
which is love yourself.
Okay. I love that.
Self-love, dude. Like, just don't. I feel like when people try to impress others, they're kind of insecure about themselves, so they don't really love themselves that well. So you do things to kind of win the exception of others because
For sure.
you want to seem loved, but like you can't put that pressure on other people to love you. You need to love yourself, and when you love yourself, you won't care if you won't try to even impress people. So
For sure.
yeah, I mean that's an advice I'd even give any young person out there. Love yourself, dude.
Yeah.
Self-love is very important. And yeah, dude, I think that's all.
That's all.
I think we can go to Jolly's now, bro.
Yes.
We're gonna go to Jolly's, get a pizza,
Get a pizza.
and just wrap up this weekend.
Cool. Thanks for joining, everyone.
Thanks for joining. And I hope you enjoyed this episode. We will catch you guys next time. Cheers.